Senate is about Nigeria and Nigerians.
A warm welcome to another episode of Inside the Senate, a program that updates you on the activities of the Red Chamber of the National Assembly and its lawmakers. I am your anchor, Hadiza Bayero Aliyu. With the resumption of the Senate extended to the 23rd of April 2024, Inside the Senate will continue with a review of notable events and activities that have shaped the lifespan of the 10th Senate. Our focus in this episode is a review of bills, particularly those that were debated during second reading and those that were passed. All of these when we return after this timeout.
Promote the unity, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria.
The Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2023.
And this act should be supported by all.
There are issues that we must use this opportunity to critically address.
We accord this motion the urgency and the necessity it requires.
I rise the second motion.
The ayes have it.
Thanks for being there. In the period under review, quite a number of bills came up for second reading, a point when the general principles, merits and demerits of a bill are debated. If it scales through, it is referred to a committee. One of the bills considered for second reading on the floor of the Senate during the first quarter of 2024 was a bill for an act to amend the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, act to make provision for the inclusion of Anambra State as one of the member states and for other connected matters, 2024. It was sponsored by Senator Tony Nwoye from Anambra North Senatorial District.
Anambra State has been recognized or gazetted as NDDC, as one of the NDDC states, having been contributing to federation accounts vis-a-vis the oil companies in Anambra State, exploring and producing more than 150,000 barrels of oil per day. Mr. President, the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, RAFMAC, in its 139th plenary held on 2021 July 27th, approved more than 14 oil blocks, as well as gazetted Anambra State as one of the states oil producing in Nigeria.
According to Senator Nwoye, Anambra State already receives about 800 million naira monthly as its 13% derivation due to all oil producing states, and as such, it should be added as the 10th state of the NDDC. Most of the lawmakers who responded to the bill spoke against Senator Nwoye's argument.
This bill seeking to make Anambra a member of the NDDC states will make absolute nonsense of the concept of Niger Delta development. Because it will mean that now that oil has been reported to have been found in Gombe State in the northeast will now be said to be a member of the NDDC state. It will not make sense. The Niger Delta Development Commission is meant for only the Niger Deltas. But what it's saying, we can also create a commission for the southeast, for the west, for the northeast and southwest that are not central, that are all producing states. We just have the same commission of both. Sir, I want to say this, so that we don't make nonsense of this commission. The UNPADEC that was initially repealed to give back to this NDDC, we have to bring it back.
Debates on the bill led to a consultation between leaders of the Senate and the sponsor of the bill, after which Senate President Godswill Akpabio spoke on the issue at stake.
The word Niger Delta is limiting. That is why, even though Lagos is getting its derivation, it is not part of Niger Delta Development Commission. Even though Anambra is getting its derivation, 13%, it is not part of Niger Delta. And I think Kogi is about to produce or producing. and so he's getting his 13% derivation, and he's also a member of the host community, according to the PIA. Thank you. Not member of Niger Delta. Okay, so in other words, Senator Issa Jibrin is saying that unless we expand the word Niger Delta to include any state in Nigeria found with oil, whether it is Sokoto, whether it is Kano, we should call that state Niger Delta. We have a responsibility as lawmakers. We have a responsibility to guide and to be able to, so that we don't make a mockery of ourselves.
Efforts of the Senate President to clarify what it takes to be an NDDC member state proved abortive as Senator Nwoye maintained his stance. When it became obvious that Senator Nwoye would not be convinced to withdraw the bill for further consultations, the Senate President put it to vote.
Those who are in support of the argument that this bill be now read a second time to go for second reading, say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it.
With that, the bill was dropped. Let's take a break here to open the Senate notebook. Don't go away.
A bill is a legislative proposal laid before the legislature for a law or for a change of an existing law through an amendment. For a bill to become a law, it is first presented to the Senate for first reading. At this stage, no debate is taken. This is followed by a second presentation of the bill on another day, during which it is debated by senators for or against. At the end of the debate, the bill either skills second reading or is rejected. If it skills second reading, it is referred to the appropriate committee for more legislative input. This may include public hearing during which it will be open to contributions by the public for or against. The committee later submits a report on it to the Senate. The report is perused clause by clause in the Committee of the Whole for observation by senators. At the end, the bill skills third reading and passed. It is then sent to the House of Representatives for concurrence. If there are variations, a conference committee is set up to harmonize the differences, after which it is sent to Mr. President for his assent, which has to be done within 30 days. If he does not agree with the National Assembly on the bill, he vetoes it by withholding his signature and sends it back with all his observations to be deliberated upon and sent again to him for his assent. If he still withholds his assent, the National Assembly can pass the bill with a 2/3 majority vote. With this, the bill becomes an act of the National Assembly.
You are still watching Inside the Senate, your window to activities of the Red Chamber of the National Assembly and its members. Like I mentioned earlier, this episode of the program features some bills considered for second and third reading by the Senate in the first quarter of 2024. For more of this, let's join our studio. Amongst the bills that came up for second reading was the bill for an act to establish the Northwest Development Commission to serve as a catalyst to develop the arrays of potentials of the Northwest, as well as address the gap in infrastructural development of the region and for related matters 2024. It was sponsored by Senator Barrow Jibrin and the entire senators of the Northwest geopolitical zone. Senator Jibrin, while leading the debate, noted that the bill was read the first time on the 26th of September 2023.
The Northwest geopolitical zone as a region has contributed immensely to the overall development of Nigeria in terms of agriculture and other areas of endeavor. Yet, the region remains hugely underdeveloped. What the region requires now from the federal government is a support to develop its infrastructure and educate its teeming youth so as to drive the process of developing the zone in its entirety in order to grow at par with more developed zones in the country.
Other lawmakers lent their voices in support of the bill.
Only recently, the Northeast Development Commission was established to cushion the effects of the devastating destruction of lives and property in the Northeast. As a result, Mr. President, it has become imperative that if we have to develop through the aggregation of developmental efforts from the states and the zones, then Nigeria has a need to accommodate these zones as developmental centers. And that is what this bill seeks to achieve.
If the Northwest Development Commission is created, it is not going to affect whatever the state governments are doing. Instead, it's just going to complement their developmental efforts. They will exist side by side with the state government in order to develop the region. In fact, it will serve as a catalyst. It will accelerate the development of the zone.
Permit me first and foremost to say something in our dialect. In Yoruba language, they call it Irorun Igini Irorieye. If you permit me to quickly translate that, it simply means that the tree can only be comfortable when the bird perching on the tree is comfortable and vice versa. There is no doubt in our mind that the Northwest is a very, very important component of our state, the state of Nigeria. And without doubt, we know the three Ks, the most populous states in Nigeria belongs to the Northwest. Without any doubt, therefore, on account of population alone, it is clear that we need to bend over backward and encourage anything that can bring further development to this important region.
Senator Ifeanyi Ubah from Anambra South, while expressing support for the bill, called on senators to practice fairness, saying that a similar bill for the creation of Southeast Development Commission was sponsored in the 9th Senate but was thrown out.
Why I'm saying this is that I want my colleagues to be very, very fair when we deal with regional development. And then I think 10th Senate, under your able leadership, Mr. President, while we continue to support that the development of Northwest is very, very important, I want to draw the attention of my colleagues that our bill for Southeast Development Commission will be coming soon. And I want to have at the same time equity and fairness to it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibrin, however, disagreed, pointing out that the assertion by Senator Ubah was wrong. He gave clarification on the status of the said Southeast Development Commission bill.
So it has been brought from the House of Reps for concurrence. Once we finish with the bill here, it will go to the President for his assent. So your bill has even gone far, very, very far, and you don't know.
With that clarification, Senator Ifeanyi Ubah withdrew his earlier statement. At the end of the debate, the bill was read a second time and referred to the Senate Committee on Special Duties for further legislative action.
The ayes have it.
On Thursday, 22nd February 2024, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the report on the Southeast Development Commission Establishment Bill 2024 as presented by the Senate Leader, Senate Bamidele Michael Okpeyemi.
I wish to move for the Senate to resolve into the Committee of the Whole to consider the report. I so move, Mr. President.
The bill, which contained 31 clauses, sought the creation of a commission charged to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account for the reconstruction of roads, houses and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the effect of the civil war, as well as other ecological, environmental and developmental challenges faced in the region. Some lawmakers moved motions for amendments in the course of debating the bill.
It's a national body. It's not meant for South Sudan alone. Whatever is done there is done through the entire country. So just the way the NDDC has representatives of all other political zones, the Northeast Development Commission also has the same arrangement. These also should also be the same, and other ones that will come after should also have the same arrangement.
E, F, and G, sir. That is, one person represents solid minerals, extracting and mining producing companies. One person to represent Federal Minister of Finance. One person to represent Federal Minister of Environment. Your Excellency, these clauses are not obtainable in other commissions, and as such, we should expunge it, sir.
anybody who wants to recommend changes in this act to ensure that he look at the other acts, like the North-East Development Commission Act, before making recommendation. For instance, if you check the North-East Development Act 2D, one person or each to represent the 6 political zones of the country. North-East still appeared, and it's still the same thing in the Niger Delta development. Niger Delta still, South was still represented. You still have one person to represent Federal Minister of Finance, one person to represent Budget and Planning, and 3 executive directors.
After adopting the amendments, the Senate reverted to plenary where the bill was read a third time and passed.
The bill read the third time and passed.
Another bill considered for concurrence during the period under review was a bill for an act to make provisions for the retirement age of staff of National Assembly service and for other related matters 2024, sponsored by Senator Bamidele Michael Okpayemi. Leading the debate, the Senate leader presented the principles and objectives of the bill.
The bill provides for the retirement age of legislative officers to retire at the age of 65 years or 40 years of service, whichever is earlier. You would agree with me that the National Assembly is a specialized institution which needs to be strengthened, and to achieve this, its officers need to be placed well by removing them from public service rules on retirement age.
According to Senator Bamidele, the bill as presented was in line with international best practices, citing examples from the United States Congress and the British Parliament. The Senate leader further stated that the bill was geared towards making provisions for the retirement age of only legislative officers who are staff of the National Assembly, with exemption of drivers, porters, cleaners, security guards, messengers, typists, cooks, gardeners, among others. Senator Kawu Sumela from Kano South Senatorial District expressed his support for the bill.
I am glad to say the gentleman sitting before you is the secretary of our committee of the constitutional amendment in the 6th and 7th Assembly, the clerk of the Senate of today. If you check or if you look what he is doing to promote as a technical aspect of legislation in this chamber, the way he is guiding the chamber, now without this legislation or without passing this legislation, he is going to retire very soon, which there is serious issue on that aspect. We are losing men, and most of this work is by brain.
Senator Anyinaya Abaribe from Abia South Senatorial District, on the other hand, had a contrary opinion.
If we go to specialized knowledge, I ask, the person in the Ministry of Finance who is a director, does he not have specialized knowledge of finance? Would we say that it is so different from the person who is in the finance sector inside this place? And when you now say that, that one person here has knowledge, every director here has a deputy, every clerk here has a deputy, and each and every one of them are trying to also, when the people retire, they also go up. When they go up, other people are now employed. Then we want to stultify employment to make sure that somebody stays here beyond the public service rules.
Another point raised by Senator Abaribe was that passing such a bill would make the Senate appear to give preferential treatment to staff of the National Assembly. Other lawmakers made contributions on the matter.
If you put this on a secret ballot to the staff here, you'll be surprised what will happen. If we are here, we should really be senators. This matter, I've listened to our colleagues from both sides. I'm not opposing or supporting, but I'm cautioning us that we need to do more consultation on this matter before we take a decision.
I also wanted to hear from those who are opposed to the bill, and I've seen so many hands here. who are opposed to the bill. Therefore, the bill is controversial. My opinion is that we step it down for more consultations. Is that the view of the Senate? Okay, I put the question. I put the question. Those in support of the motion that were of the view that we step it down for further consultation, say aye. And those against say nay. The ayes have it.
At the end of the debate, the bill was stepped down to allow for further consultations. However, on Thursday, 29th February 2024, the bill was represented for concurrence a second time on the floor of the Senate. While presenting it, Senator Bamidele noted that consultations had taken place and issues addressed. Thereafter, the bill was read the second and third times and passed.
The ayes have it.
Still on bills, on Wednesday, 28th February 2024, in the Committee of the Whole, the Senate considered the report on a bill for an act to amend the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA Act 2024, which was forwarded for concurrence. The bill was stepped down and referred to the Joint Senate Committee on Judiciary and that on Drugs and Narcotics for further legislative action. That was a highlight of some bills considered for second and third readings on the floor of the Senate in the first quarter of this year. Up next is our profile segment. Stand by for our Senator of the Week.
Senator Aminu E. Abbas is the current senator representing Adamawa Central Senatorial District in the 10th Senate. He was born in the city of Yola, the Adamawa State capital, in 1973. He attended the Central Primary School in Uba Hong in Adamawa State. In 2000, he received his bachelor's degree in accounting from Bayero University, Kano. He later obtained a master's degree in treasury management from the same institution in 2008. Senator Abbas started his career during his national youth service at the Nigerian National Liquefied Natural Gas (NNLNG) between 2000 and 2002. After his service, he joined Sigma Securities in 2002 and later joined the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission as a forensic expert and pioneer accountant. He later worked for Africa Petroleum Nigeria and KPMG between 2008 and 2011. He is a chartered accountant and certified fraud examiner. In 2011, Senator Abbas ran for and secured the position of the Adamawa State House of Assembly representative for the Uba Gaya constituency. From 2011 to 2015, he represented his constituents while assuming multiple roles within the House. These roles included serving as the Chief Whip, Deputy Minority Leader, Deputy Chief Whip, as well as chairing and being a member of several standing committees. In 2015, he lost his seat in the State House of Assembly election. However, he ran again in 2019 and emerged victorious, securing his representation for the Uba Gaya constituency. He was appointed as the Speaker of the House, serving in that role until 2023. In 2023, Senator Aminu E. Abbas contested the position of Senator for Adamawa Central and emerged victorious again. Senator Aminu E. Abbas currently serves as Chairman of the Senate Committee on Science and Technology of the 10th Senate. His legislative agenda includes agriculture, health and security, community empowerment, and human rights.
This episode of Inside the Senate reviewed bills considered at second reading as well as those that were passed. If you missed it, connect with us via our social media platforms showing on your screen to watch the episode. Join us again next week for a fresh edition of Inside the Senate. Thanks for watching and see you next week.